In many cultures, the number 9 considers as the number of perfection because it has 3 times the number 3 inside. And as you know, all good things comes in threes. And so, the number 9 brings us to our today car review. The brand new Volkswagen Passat B9. And the B9 stands for the 9th generation of Volkswagen's bestseller. And so automatically the question comes, is the new Volkswagen Passat lives up to the number 9? Is it the best Passat ever? In the beginning of the 70s, Giorgio Giugiaro drafts the first design draft of the brand new Volkswagen Passat B1. But Volkswagen wasn't happy with those designs, and so they let them fall. He took a second chance and drew a second design draft, but now this second time he oriented himself at the design of the brand new Audi 80. And Volkswagen loved the second design draft. So they gave him the thumb up, and finally in 1973, the first Passat B1 came out.
The Volkswagen Passat, introduced in 1973, was a design hybrid. It had a front of the Audi 80 but not its notchback. It had an independent hatchback. The Passat was also available as a station wagon, and depending on the version, the front could look completely different. The standard version had 2 headlights in the front, the LS version had angular headlights, and the TS version had sporty double headlights in the front. The B1 was well received by the client right from the start. In 1980, the second generation of the Passat was launched. It was available as a 3 and a 5-door hatchback, as well as an estate. The car grew 30 centimeters in the length and was the first Passat that could be had with a diesel engine, as well as with the legendary Synchro all-wheel drive. The third generation of the Volkswagen Passat appeared in 1988 and was the first Passat with a notchback and a transversely mounted engine to offer more space in the interior, and also the first Passat with the ABS system. The B3 was all about aerodynamics. The front was inspired by the study shown in 1981 called Volkswagen Auto 2000. The radiator grille was moved down into the bumper instead of between the headlights to achieve a better CD value, and the air for the engine intake was directed over the Volkswagen badge. All these aerodynamics changes gave the Passat a CD value of 0.29, which was better than that of a Ferrari Testarossa. In 1993, the B4 came onto the market. The B4 was not a new development, but a further development of the B3, because the Passat clients found the design of the B3 too radical. The B4 was mainly concerned with the design and was given a classic grille between the headlights, the so-called happy face. At the end of 1996, you could get the 5th generation from your Volkswagen dealer. The 5th generation shared the platform with the Audi A4 and therefore had the engine installed lengthwise again. In addition to the new design, the 5th generation also paid a lot of attention to driving comfort. The body was now full galvanized and had therefore an 11-year corrosion guarantee. The B6, which was released in 2005, shared a lot of components with its little brother the Golf 5 for cost reasons. The B6 was larger in every respect than its predecessor the B5 and was also the first Passat to have LED taillight technology and an electric handbrake. Unfortunately, there is not much to say about the B7, which was released in 2010. A completely new design has been created, but in terms of platform it is based entirely on the platform of the B6. The Volkswagen Passat B8, released in 2014, was the first Passat to be based on the today's standard MQB platform. With the same external dimensions as its predecessor, they managed to enlarge the interior space. The car was so impressive that it won 2015 the Design Award Car of the Year. It is the last Volkswagen Passat that was available as a sedan.
But the Passat wasn't always just a boring and emotionless family car. From time to time, they brought models out on the market that was full of emotion, pleasure and fun. Cars that was brought a smile in the face from a car enthusiast. Models like, for example,
there was the Passat VR6 with the then breathtaking 174 horsepower and 240 Newton meters of torque, which was available as B3 and B4, and which had an incomparable soundscape. The special design of a 6-cylinder inline engine in which the combustion chambers were aligned as a V has a very specific sound. Or how about the next engine building curiosity, the Passat W8, which was available as a B5. The rather rare W8 engine of the Passat W8 is explained simple. 2x 2-liter VR4 engine which were connected to a crankshaft. The result, a 4-liter engine with 275 horsepower and 370 Newton meters of torque. The W8 engine reaches maximum performance at just 2,700 revolutions and offers a lot of driving fun in combination with the 4Motion system. And not to forget the Passat R36, which was available as the B6 and which had a sound that gives you goosebumps. Thanks to its 3.6-liter VR6 engine, which was produced at decent 300 horsepower and 360 Newton meters of torque, the R36 was able to bring tears of joy to every Passat fan's eyes with sheer enthusiasm, and it was also equipped with the 4Motion system. But enough with all those Passat nostalgia, back to the B9.
So actually, the Passat B9 shouldn't exist because some years ago Volkswagen decided to stop the production of the Volkswagen Passat after the B8 was running out of production because, like they say, they have a new, different strategy. They want to build more electric vehicles and somehow the Passat doesn't fit in those electric vehicle strategy. But they realized then from the B1 from the 70s until the B8 of the 2020s, they was sold 34 million units. And to be honest, that's the best-selling Volkswagen of all time, even better sold than the Volkswagen Golf. So they couldn't let drop this really good-selling model down. So what they decided to make a brand new, complete new developed B9 Volkswagen Passat, like we have it here. And if you take a look and compare it to its predecessor, you will see already it starts in the design. So here we have a slim and wide design by the B8, and by the B9 you have a different way. It's more a higher but more elegant looking way than here by the B8. It is not full of emotions, but to be honest, that was never the idea of a Volkswagen Passat. It is a nice looking, classy and elegant all-day car. If we take a look by the side view and compare it to its predecessor, the B8, you realize this car somehow looks longer. And the reason is because it is longer. To be more exactly, 14 centimeters longer than its predecessor. But the rest of the side view is immediately recognizable as a Volkswagen Passat. I love how the design in the back goes, because it looks a little bit more sharper and mightier than in the front. The back looks more aggressive to me than in the front. And what I also like is this view here, because it reminds me of his brother, the Volkswagen Arteon, which is a really nice looking car. So also the LED language, design language, is the same one like by the brand new Volkswagen Tiguan. So it is a car that you really like to drive behind of it. So, and when we're already talking about the back, let's talk about the hard part of this car, and this is the trunk. I mean, the reason why many people decide to buy a Passat is that, the big trunk that it has. And this one has 40 liters more than its predecessor. It has now 619 liters. And it's a classic Volkswagen Passat trunk, nice, wide, and you have many details, like for example here the hooks for the baggage, or the limiters for the cargo, so that your cargo doesn't floating around in the trunk. Also depends on which option you have on the car. You can have, like we have it here, the hook from factory. Simple as that. One press on the button, it comes up. You have also here the inlet for the stick, and again one press on the button and it goes away. You just push it like this. Simple as that. I mean, that's the spirit of a Volkswagen Passat. Really practically and easy and intelligent. That's the way how we love it. So finally, the interior check. And the first thing you realize when you sit in this nice new modern interior is a complete different story compared to the predecessor. It's more modern, it feels more quality, it is somehow one level up. It feels like a Mercedes or a BMW interior, more modern, better materials, nice contrast stitching everywhere. Great materials also here with aluminium. Looks great, looks modern, it fits to this car. What you immediately see when you sit inside is this big screen. So regularly when you buy a standard one, Passat, it is a 12.9-inch big screen. If you take a little bit more money in your hand and you pay some extras, you can get this one, this big 15-inch screen. It is looking great, great resolution, great for operation, but it doesn't fit in my eyes to this great interior because somehow it looks like it looks somehow aftermarket, like somebody buy it and put it aftermarket on the top from the dashboard. But okay, that's how it is. We already know it from other brands like BMW and then the Mercedes. Doesn't matter. But the rest also here with the great ambilight, it fits with the theme. You can change the themes here in the display, and automatically the color will also change in the whole interior by the ambilights, and that looks great, really. Also, these great shaped seats, they cost extra, the ergo active seats. You have, for example, cooling options, heat options. You can save the memory, so the position of the seats, and what I love, you can also activate the massage seats. Only available with those ergo active seats. They look great, they feel great. It is no problem to really make long travels with these great seats. Steering wheel, we already know the steering wheel, same story by the Golf 8. And what I really like is the buttons. Now we again have those hard touch buttons and not these touch sensitive buttons. They never was working well. It is again old school, and it works and it fits great to this whole interior. In front of us, a 10-inch virtual cockpit, You can change the view, you can put all the information that you want to see in front of you here. So a great thing. What you also see first when you sit inside, after you realize how big the screen is, there is no more a shift knob in the middle. So now the shift knob is here, like Mercedes and some older BMW 7 Series. Same thing also here. What is good about this, it's less emotions in my eyes. The shift knobs always have some emotions, you know. It brings some emotions in the interior. So here not, because it's on a different position. But now you have more space in the middle. So you can put your mobile phone for charging. You have 2 cup holders. You have, in general, more space in the middle console. And somehow it fits to this whole story of a Volkswagen Passat. Because I mean, it's in first line, it's not an emotions car. It is a practical car for long driving, for daily using. And this is definitely a plus point in view of this, of course. The rest, I mean, what do you want more from a Volkswagen Passat? You have a big panoramic roof and a great ambience when you sit inside. Also with this gray leather, it fits great to this car. It is definitely a step forward compared to the 8B, to his predecessor. What we also explore in the meantime is, as we say, this car has the same platform like the Skoda Superb. And also like the Skoda Superb, finally, you also have now by a VW Passat an umbrella. Until modern days, only Rolls-Royce and Skoda was those cars and those brands that put an umbrella in the side of the door, and it makes sense. And finally also Volkswagen realized it. That is a great idea. And now let's take a look at the back seats. Oh yes, as I already says, the actual B9 Passat is 14 centimeters longer, and that means also that you have more space in the back of the back seats. You have 5 centimeters more leg room, and you feel it immediately as soon you sit inside. A great place to be, including this big panoramic roof that brings much light inside. It feels really great. Also here, ambient light, and what we have here, there are the jalousies to make it a little bit more privacy in the back. Great feeling seats, seat comfort, and we have also in the middle this great middle arm lean. You can also put here, for example, your tablet to watch some movies, and 2 cup holders. And also, if you want to go skiing, you have here in the middle a hole that you can open and put your snowboard or skis through the opening. Great thing. What I also realize, everybody knows those bags here in the back of the seats, but what they do now, they put 2 additional small in the also here in front of you, a little bit higher. What makes sense, for example, your mobile phone or your wallet. A great idea, to be honest. The rest, like other cars, you have here the options to change the temperature in the back and to charge your phone. A really great place to be. I can really imagine to sit here the whole day and travel 1,000, 2,000 kilometers, no problem. It's a nice place to be. I'm loving it, really. It fits to the whole philosophy of a Volkswagen Passat, and really I cannot tell it enough how much space you have in the back everywhere. High wideness in front of you, a really great place to be. After the first few meters in the new Volkswagen Passat, you realize this car also drives completely different than its predecessor. More comfortable, more quieter, more luxurious, and that's the Volkswagen Passat spirit. It fits absolutely to this car. It's also a step up compared to its predecessor. Great driver position, really comfortable. And what is also a major point, because this car has the new DCC Plus suspension, it also depends on which driving mode you choose. The drivability is completely different. So for example, now we're driving in comfort, everything is nice and smooth. When we go to the sport, because we have the newer damper system where you can change because we have 2 different valves for pressure and rebound, it changed immediately the behavior of this suspension setting and the suspension, and also in case of this, the behavior of the car. When you're driving in a sporty mode, you can go faster through the corners, you have more stability, thankful for this DCC Plus suspension, and you feel it. And when you change again and you go to comfort, everything is smooth. And also this double clutch 7-gear speed box works perfect. It somehow thinks with you. It knows which way you want to drive, and it also, in this case, it changed the behavior. If you drive more sporty, it lets you revs more out on the RPMs, and if you drive more comfortable, it's changed earlier, it's changed more smoother, and that's really what makes fun to drive a car like this. It is really a car for long distance traveling, for go somewhere to holidays, or use it every day for to go to, if you want to go work, if you want to go shopping. It is really a car that makes you happy also in daily using. Depends on which engine you have. It also changed the gearbox. If you have, for example, the plug-in system, then you have a special 6-gear transmission. In case of this, because this is a mild hybrid system, you have the 7-gear speed box. And for example, also, if you have now the 4x4 Passat with, for example, diesel engine, because you can have 3 types of diesel engines by the new Passat. They are all 2-liter diesel engines, but different power settings. So if you have, for example, a powerful diesel in combination with the 4x4 system, now you can hook up on the car 2,200 kilos, and that's wow for a station wagon, because the predecessor, for example, was somewhere by 1,600, 1,700 kilo. So it's a big step further. And so at the end, the whole driving experience in this car is a big step further. It drives now like Mercedes E-Class or BMW 5 Series. It is really comfortable, smooth and easy, and also luxurious, what is not normal for a Volkswagen. So what's the conclusion about the 9th generation of the Volkswagen Passat? Does it live up to the number 9? Oh yes, definitely everywhere. It is next level compared to its predecessor, the B8. Bigger, more luxurious, more comfortable, nicer driving, better fuel economy. You can pull higher weights with you. So all in all, the perfect modern day estate.